this message is only going to reach those of you who are ready to change. Ready to change your life, ready to change your circumstances, ready to change that habit, ready to change your finances, ready to change your love life, ready to change careers. I can keep going on and on. Let me tell you what it truly takes. You are going to have to reprogram your subconscious mind, people. Like reprogramming your mind and unlearning things that no longer serves your life is what it is going to require for you to start seeing some change in your life. And now you may be asking yourself, well, how do I do that? Which is the best question you can ask yourself. So let me help you understand how you start to do that. First, you need to understand reprogramming your mind is not about flipping a switch, okay? It doesn't work like that. It's about consistently having a thought pattern, a positive thought pattern, a consistent pattern of your emotions, of your behaviors. Like you can't want to change something, but you still keep doing the same thing. Does that make sense? Like, it doesn't work like that. You have to completely become a new person slowly and gradually. You can't try to do it all at once and quit all of these things that no longer serve you all at once. You need to take baby steps, one day at a time. So, for starters, you need to identify the beliefs you have been carrying. And a lot of our beliefs stems from our childhood, our parents, our family, people we've had around us. Those beliefs, have you ever stopped to question those beliefs? And once you stop to question those beliefs, then you can start to unpack, is this belief serving me, or is this a belief I can let go? And then once you start challenging those beliefs, now you move on to, okay, what am I going to replace this belief with of my own that's coming from myself? Whether you believe, in God, whether you believe that, you have to believe it to see it, whether you believe, whatever your belief system is now in your adult life, that is what you would start to reprogram those limiting beliefs that no longer serves you. Okay, now let's move on. Then you want to start practicing visualization. Like start meditating 5 to 10 minutes a day. See, it ain't even gonna take you long. A few minutes a day of imagining what your life can look like if you change this blank. Get what I mean? So write it out in a sentence. I want to change blank. Then sit and visualize what would your life actually look like when you change blank. Okay? Y'all with me? All right, moving on. Now you need to start measuring whether you are seeing results, right? Because you're not going to make this change if you don't start to see it effectively work in your life. So, if you want to journal, if you want to jot it down in your phone, whatever you use to make notes, to journal your progress, because it's going to matter. And you're going to be able to visually see that you are making progress towards this goal or towards this change that you want to make. The very most important thing during this process, you're going to have to be mindful of what you consume. You're going to have to be mindful of what you listen to, of what you watch, of what you read, of what you absorb, because that is going to play tricks on your subconscious if you engage back in toxicity. That is not what we need during this journey of change. While you're doing that, you're going to find a new habit that aligns with the life you want to be or the person you are trying to become. So, if you have never walked, that's a new habit. If you have never exercised, that's a new habit. If you never picked up a book to read, That's a new habit. You want to change that old habit into something new. You need to replace the old with new, because when you do that, your subconscious is now starting to say, oh, okay, if something no longer works for me, I can just change it by replacing it. You get what I mean? All right, we locked in. All right. Then you need to surround yourself with people who have goals, who are like-minded, who are going to pour into you. Y'all know I'm heavy on the watering your garden, but also having someone else come and water it too, okay? So definitely absorb yourself around people who are going to pour into you, and that kind of imitates the community you want to start absorbing your energy in. So, with those few steps, and I literally only gave y'all maybe 5 steps that can get you started, because sometimes that be the problem. Like, we don't know where to start. We're like, oh my gosh, it feels so overwhelming. I feel overstimulated because I don't know which step to take first. Let this be your guide, okay? Your guide to at least try it. Try it for 30 days. And after 30 days, if you don't see a piece of a result, then you can go back into doing what it is you thought was making your, the old life that you had. But I guarantee you're going to start seeing the change. And that's going to be in your mental, physical, your financial, and your emotional well-being. You're going to see some changes in those 30 days. I can guarantee you that. So I want you to remember this simple reminder. The goal is not to act like negative thoughts are never going to appear. That's you lying to yourself, because they still will appear. The goal is to practice responding differently in the way you move in life. Your awareness, you need to be more intentional about that. You need to be intentional about everything you do on this journey to change. And once you complete that goal that you want to change about yourself, then start another goal. But that is truly how you reprogram your subconscious mind, is allowing yourself to become aware of the situation, challenge those limiting beliefs, repeat a healthy cycle, because that's pretty much what is happening. You are repeating something and you're replacing something and repeating what you are replacing, that old with the new. Does that make sense? And then once you do that, of course, it requires you to take that action, and then voila, a new identity is birthed. So I know this was a long video, but you can't make a short video explaining the progress and steps when it comes to reprogramming your subconscious mind. And another thing I want to tell y'all, you need to stay connected to people who have lived experience, who has went through the mud and seen the light on the other side, and can now show up like I'm doing and explain to y'all what it took for me. And not saying it's going to work for everybody, no, but at least you have a guide that can get you started. All right, so let me know how it goes in 30 days.